This dryer sums up my life philosophy of late. I no longer order myself around. I never know what I'm going to do for strength training on any given day. I don't plan it. And since I can't do pull-ups, my options are more limited than they have been in the past. So I tend to do a lot of dips. And today, for whatever reason, I just started increasing each set by 2 dips. So I got on the bar, I did 4, then I came back, I did 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Now this set will be 20. I haven't done 20 dips since I was in my early 20s. So it'll be interesting to see if I can do 20 dips at 55. I never do high sets. Anyway, someone asked about how I got into doing dips and how I keep my shoulders from getting injured. You start slow and you start small. You don't do max sets. In fact, I'm hoping that 20 isn't a max set because I really don't like going to my maximum. You're likely to get hurt. And it's also mentally kind of crushing to go to the place of failure. So what I do when I come to the bar, first thing, this dip bar comes apart. All this just comes right out. So none of it is permanent. So it's a little wobbly. So I stabilize it, get my weight in, and I make sure that I get a little bit of a shoulder stretch before I start. Let my shoulders open up, let my chest open up. I don't just hop on and start pushing. And what I'm going to do is just slowly come up by adding a little bit more pressure. And if at any point it doesn't feel good, I stop. So when I first started doing dips, it wasn't that I came over here and did a dip. I came over here, got a good stretch, and then just pushed and used my legs. I'm pushing with my feet right now to come up, not even the whole way. And then little by little, I would get more range of motion, more strength, and then it would be a dip, and then 2, and then 3. And now, maybe right now, it'll be 20. We'll find out in a moment. But always gentle, always curious, never forcing, never hopping on. And also range of motion is really important to me. Not everybody, but to me it is. I want to go down and really expand my chest and shoulders as much as I can. I don't want to come down halfway. You'll see people doing like half dips. I want to really get as much of a stretch as I can on each one, because then you work the greatest amount of muscle. So you start with a stretch, and I'm going to pick my knees up and just slowly push until I come up. I'm going to count that as 1, 2, 10, 18, 19, 20. I probably had another 3 in there, but it would have been a struggle, and I don't want to struggle. 20 was hard, and that is the most dips I've done since I was in my 20s and lifting a lot of really heavy weights. So it's nice that a very slow, random progression got me up to the place where I can do 20 dips after having done 18, 16, 14, 12, all the way down. So it's a lot of dips today, and feels good. And because I stretch and because I slowly warm into it, my shoulders are okay. A lot of days I'll just come over here and do 2 dips, walk away. 2 dips, walk away. It doesn't matter how easy it is. I won't do more than 2. Some days it's 3, some days it's 4. Today it increased, just out of curiosity, but I never push it. Anyway, yeah, 20 dips. This is supposed to be a very quiet road, but there's planes, trains, and automobiles and Swedes. Anyway, I am sitting next to the Walloomsac River and the Henry Bridge and the historic Henry House, and taking my time. Gonna go for a roller ski, and I'm not ready yet, but that's okay. I'll just sit here until suddenly the door opens. She's gonna go for a walk, It's very nice over here, and it's shady, and there's several covered bridges and just the sound of the stream. And I'm gonna slowly maybe put boots on and put poles on and see what happens. But I'm not gonna force it, and that's the way we do it. Skied for 45 minutes, almost 9 miles. Took a while to warm up. I think having eaten prior to skiing slowed me down a lot. I noticed that whenever I eat and then exercise, it takes me a good half hour before I feel the energy that normally comes from movement. So towards the end, it started to really feel good, and mostly I just worked on technique, stayed relaxed. I'm trying Simon Kruger's legs and getting closer and closer to what he's doing, really getting deep, having my knees come together, really pushing out the side and pushing myself up the hill with my legs, and also working on a new arm style, not Kruger's or Johnny Hagenbach's, which I've been doing a lot recently. But this is who I believe is the top female Norwegian skier, Anne Kjersti Kalboa. And I love what she does with her arms, and she has Kruger legs. So if you watch her ski, she's the female Kruger. And she does an interesting thing with her arms that I think are better suited to me because I have much longer arms than Simon Kruger does. So I'm gonna play around with that. Felt super good going uphill, especially with the longer poles. So yeah, making progress, just having fun, experimenting, learning, growing, and just being in the world. All right. You dreaming? No, you're awake. No, you're awake. Sweet little nautilus. You're like a tiny little nautilus. Yeah. Who are you? It is a bright and early morning, and I just finished the book The Joy of Science by Jim Al-Khalili, who I've seen his BBC science shows, I think, on the BBC for quite a few years. Really good presenter, very enthusiastic, but overly optimistic and naive. And I'm not really sure why he wrote this book. I'm going to be doing a review going up on Patreon soon, but I think I might have taken 2 notes in the entire book, so I don't know. Anyway, time to get to work. The Swede and I are almost done with Studio remake. Sweetio, because without her I couldn't do it. Anyway, going upstairs to move furniture and strap mattresses. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, going upstairs to tear the world apart and then put it back together in a better way. Finishing an early morning listening session to Sick Souls and Healthy Minds, How William James Can Save Your Life. So far, it's just a history of William James's life. Mine hasn't been saved yet, so I'm still waiting for that to come. I got back from a roller ski about 15 minutes ago, and I'm finding myself now in a place of indecision. I don't know what to do next. And whenever I get in this space, I want to cope. So I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that coping urge come up in me. And I know that when that happens, I've got to do something, anything, touch something, move something, start physically engaging with something. You don't need to know what it is. But if you sit and wait and think and imagine and wonder and plan, you're going to be stuck, and coping will be the result. So rather than gorging on food, which is my history, I'm going to engage in something, whether it's picking up some papers on my desk and organizing them, or it's getting a little exercise on the elliptical, maybe a couple dips on the dip bar. Doesn't matter, just get up and move. If you don't, you're likely to cope. This dryer sums up my life philosophy of late. I no longer order myself around. I just curiously explore. Anyway, we're doing some laundry before heading up to the Adirondacks of New York. My family has a cabin on a lake there that none of us ever go to anymore. So I'm going to take the suite up and we're going to do some repairs, weed whacking, chainsawing, dock work, water pump work, whatever needs to be done. So going to be up there for a couple days. We don't know yet, depending on what kind of work we find. But going to take a nice scenic drive through Lake Placid and Saranac Lake on the way there. Show you what it looks like. And yeah. You've already seen my dip workout on Monday. That was a really good one. But then I took Tuesday off, Wednesday off. Thursday, I did some pretty intense pulling. D2 is very, very heavy. That's the heaviest weight I've ever lifted on the pulling machine, so doing reps rather than minutes. Just did a few dips on Friday to see how that would feel. Rest, and rest today because we're heading to the Adirondacks. Normally I wouldn't take that many rest days, but since my elbow and bicep are both compromised, I'm doing a little bit and really being careful, seeing how it feels, and then giving myself plenty of rest to recover. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week and the week after that with more rest and a bit more intensity.